floor here in McHenry, Illinois. It is Monday, January 31st, 2011. Continued buying off of this news coming out of the Middle East, specifically Egypt, the civil unrest out there, providing support for grain markets here today, as well as the crude oil, which in turn, of course, also supports the grains. And the dollar going down today, taking a look at some significant support levels. Let's get into the pricing. We finished up closing higher in the corn today by 15.5 points nearby at 659.5. That did close on its highs. 659.5 was the high March corn, and that's where we closed. Soybeans up 15 as well today, closing one tick off of its highs at 14.13. And then Chicago wheat closing up 15 today as well. 840 3/4 in the March contract. The high today was 847 3/4, so a little bit off the highs, but 15 points higher on the day nonetheless. Crude oil right now trading up 282, 92.16, 92.84 has been the high today. And you got the dollar right now down 37.5, 77.90.5. And like I said, there's some significant support in that dollar index at 77.50. We did not quite get down to that point today to test it, but that would be our downside objective near term anyhow in the dollar. So keep an eye out on that price point for further direction in the index itself. Like I said, this unrest in Egypt is pretty much controlling the grain and energy markets right now. There is a significant amount of crude oil that comes out of Egypt, and we did receive news this morning that they're closing most ports up along the straits there near Egypt, their shipping lines. However, we also received reports that the grain has not been disrupted. The grain transport has not been disrupted too much right now. What the big issue is the workers at the grain plants being able to load up the ships and whatnot because of the curfew that the government has in place, not allowing those people to go home, and you have just some disgruntled, if you will, employees working limited amounts of time during the day because they're stuck at the mill. So we're hearing some of that. We did also hear that the crude transportation has not yet been affected. But crude oil, nonetheless, is going higher. We saw Brent crude get over $100 a barrel today, and we're up above 92 right now, near 93 at one point today on the crude markets that we're watching. So keep an eye on what's going on in the Middle East for continued direction. Right now, these markets are up, and they look like they're going to continue to go up until we get some news to the contrary coming out of Egypt that things are calming down out there. Egypt is one of the largest wheat purchasers, if you will, in the world right now. So we have to keep an eye on that. You would think it would be bearish that one of the world's largest purchasers is not buying anything, but it is being spun as a bullish story for the time being. Over to the livestock markets. Big news out of Korea on Friday that they're buying any type of hog they can get their hand on right now. They want pork out there, and that has sparked the pork market to rally pretty strong for the last couple of sessions. Today we finished that Feb contract up $1.50 at 87.25. 87.55 was the high on the day. Cattle market trying to find some strength out there as well off of what's going on in the hogs. We did go up and make significant highs, but also came off of those highs into the close. Right now we have live cattle closed in the pits at 108.95 Feb contract. That's up $1.45 on the day. 109.50 was the high, so that's about 55 cents off of the high prices where we closed. And then you got feeders right now. March feeders 128 up $1.77.5. 128.40 was the high, 40 cents off the high there. The electronic markets, since the pits have closed, have pulled themselves back. Then the fat markets specifically have pulled themselves back lower to where the pits closed up. But we've seen that followed up by some buying as well in past sessions. So keep an eye on the electronics. They'll trade until I believe it's 4:45 in the cattle pits, or in the cattle electronic trade. So keep an eye on that for direction here going forward. We are right now with what the April fat market did today. We took out all highs except the contract high, which was that spike high we saw last week, which turned out to be a blow-off top for the near term. We'll see if we can get back up to those levels and test that contract high again here in the next couple of days. Weather being, of course, one of the primary concerns for the cattle, all livestock here. Significant storms expected to come through the Midwest. I know in my area here near Chicago, we're expected to get anywhere between 12 and 20 inches of snow between Tuesday and Wednesday. So significant snow amounts coming across the Midwest, which of course will make the feedlot sloppy. There's also 40-mile-an-hour winds coming in with this storm, so you're going to see cattle start to hunker down, and that could affect feed weights as well. So lots of news to look at here today on Monday. We'll take a look at the overnight markets and go from there in the morning when Paul Georgie speaks with you. If you have any questions or would like additional information, feel free to visit our website at www.allendale-inc.com. If you are not a subscriber, you can subscribe to the website via the website, or you can call in here and talk to a broker, and we'll get you signed up with a subscription. Or feel free to call in here at any time with your questions. The phone number is 800-262-7538. Thank you very much for listening today, and good luck trading this week.